Hello, everyone. My name is Connie Kadansky, President of Exceptional Sales Performance. This webinar is for hiring authorities from diverse industries to learn how the SPQ Gold Assessment will help them make better hiring decisions of salespeople. The SPQ Gold is the only assessment in the world that measures sales call reluctance, which is the emotional hesitation to prospect and self-promote. This webinar will be talking about a basic sales model, the single best predictor of sales success, according to George Dudley and Shannon Goodson, world-renowned behavioral scientists that developed the SPQ Gold. 2 ways to view initiating contact, the types of sales call reluctance that keep salespeople from prospecting consistently, how to administer the SPQ Gold, and the importance of the follow-through questions after the candidate has taken the assessment. So how do you know what the candidate will do to drive sales by just an interview? Do you feel like you're looking into a crystal ball and hoping for the best? Well, the SPQ Gold can help bring those hidden components of behavior and fear that keeps people from prospecting up front, so you will know what you are dealing with as far as the candidate's ability to prospect and promote. Prospecting is a core competency for salespeople, and there are so many salespeople that have perfected their sales presentation. However, they're deficient and their weakness is in the prospecting. And prospecting is so vital for a business, as you know. And with the onset of all the internet, etc., in the social media, it has added and compounded the fact of the prospecting and how to get salespeople to prospect consistently. Let's talk about a basic sales process. The first component is to identify prospects so that they can initiate contact, so that they can introduce themselves, so they can have that informed sales presentation, so they can influence the prospect to buy from them. The SPQ Gold addresses number 2 and 3, initiating contact and introducing themselves, their product, their service, their value proposition, and making that appointment to get in front of them, so to speak. Sometimes it's just over the phone, but it is getting that sales presentation. One of the root causes of poor performance for salespeople is fear. And when salespeople are in fear, guess what they do? They avoid activity. So they find other ways to appear busy, but they are avoiding the proactive prospecting. So what percentage of their day are your salespeople expected to be prospecting? Recently, I was working with an insurance company, and they said the number is 60% of the time they want their salespeople in a prospecting mode. A definition of prospecting, the proactive steps that your salespeople take to get in front of qualified prospects. So if your salespeople, in order for them to succeed, that they must be prospecting, SPQ Gold could be the assessment for you. So just keep in mind, there's no assessment that is 100% accurate. The SPQ Gold has 35 years of continuous research to be reliable and valid through psychometric methodology for its intended purpose, which is to measure sales call reluctance. And if there's anybody on this webinar that wants the reliability and validity studies, please email me and I will provide those to you. So the SPQ does not take the place of that thorough interview reference checks, your experience as a hiring authority, and that inner knowing. You still have to go through these steps very diligently and consciously. So what does the SPQ measure? It measures your sales candidate's ability to manage their visibility in the marketplace. It measures their ability to effectively prospect and get appointments. It will tell you whether your sales candidate will initiate contact with prospective buyers on a consistent basis. It also measures, do they actually have the motivation? Can they actually go out and prospect physically and psychologically? Do they want to prospect? Do they want to succeed? Are they emotionally connected to it? That is the goal level measurement on the SPQ Gold. Which are the 12 types of call reluctance that they have, and to what degree of intensity? So the SPQ Gold will help you select salespeople who will ramp up faster, people who will accelerate their new business development. It's going to expose prospecting problems. For example, if it is vital for your people to be on the phone, and if they're testing high on telephobia, you've got a challenge there. It helps you customize training if you choose to hire him or her, and I will personally help you do that. It will help you increase productivity, decrease turnover, and reduce the uncertainty in the hiring process. So let's just think about it. There are only two ways to view initiating contact, only two. Are we seeing it as an opportunity, this activity, or a personal threat, an emotional threat where we are all boxed in with fear and intimidation and anxiety? So to be able to hire salespeople who actually see it as an opportunity and are strategic in that regard, and also emotionally intelligent, the ability to handle their feelings. So visibility management for salespeople is vital. If they're not visible in the marketplace, how are they going to sell effectively? So what keeps salespeople from prospecting and being out in their marketplace? We know it is a core competency. It's an emotional interference. Sales call reluctance is the emotional interference. When they're getting ready to pick up the phone, knock on the door, do whatever it takes ethically and appropriately to initiate contact. So the definition of sales call reluctance, the emotional hesitation to prospect. So with the telephone, they're reaching for that phone and they stop. What is it that is causing them to hesitate and stop? So call reluctance is not personality. It's habit-level behavior. Very important for you to recognize this. So the SPQ is not a personality test. There are personality components involved, but it is a behavioral test. What will your candidate do to drive sales? There are 12 types of call reluctance. You can go to my website and read about each one of these, or you can also email me and I will send you an interpretation guide that has all of these listed, what they particularly mean, what they're measuring, how important they are. There may be some on here that are not as important as others, but it depends on your industry. So if you're prospecting high-level people and you hire a salesperson who is intimidated by high-level people, it could be a challenge. So in taking a look at these, depends on your position as far as the types that can truly be a showstopper. So the proper positioning of the SPQ is so important. You want to be casual. Don't make it a big deal. Refer to the SPQ as an assessment, not a test. People think test and they think fail or pass. And also, it is part of your interviewing process, not your hiring process. The earlier you tell your candidates in your process, the better. And there is no pass or fail. You can also tell them that. And administer the assessment in your office if at all possible. And if that's not possible, then you can email that to them under some conditions, and please communicate with me as far as what those conditions need to be in order to assess people that are not available to come into your office. Takes about 40-45 minutes for people to complete. It's not timed, however, that is the average. The interview support questions that will be supplied to you after your candidates have taken the assessment are very useful information, and it will be used in your follow-up interview. So if a particular area is coming up as an area of concern, I will provide you questions to go back to your candidate and help you formulate some of your questions to find out, is this going to be an issue? Do I have the energy to coach and train this individual through this process? Or are we really looking at a situation here that this person may not be likely to succeed in this particular position? I highly recommend that you invest in the book, The Psychology of Sales Call Reluctance. Make sure you get the latest edition, and it's this blue cover here. There are other copies that are being sold on the internet. The behavioral scientists continue to update this book because of their continuing research. You can order this book through me, or you can order it through Amazon.com. We also have an audio quick start program that is very informative. So it's a CD, talks about the assessment, goes a little bit more in depth on what the assessment is measuring. And you can also order those. You can only order those through me. It's not available on Amazon. We help companies hire non-call reluctant salespeople and recruiters, and we also help management continue to foster a total no-excuse prospecting environment within their companies. Many companies throughout the world are using the SPQ as a training and development tool with their current staff. So yes, if you have somebody on your team that you just feel they have so much more potential and I'm not seeing it, seriously consider investing in the SPQ as a coaching, training, and development tool, and I will work with you in coaching and managing your current staff. So thank you for spending time today. This is my contact information. Please feel free to reach out to me at any time. I work throughout Canada, the Caribbean, and the United States, and be happy to assist you in this most critical component of hiring salespeople who will prospect and promote consistently.